It's a fit mess where we talk about AI and health and wellness, and there's a lot of things to talk about with AI on a daily basis that are affecting our lives and our overall health, and certainly our mental health. And we also talk about a lot of the doom and gloom of AI and how scary it can be, and the potential, terrible things that it could bring into the future for all of us.
Which is probably not so good for our mental health.
Probably not good for us to be. I mean, yeah, look, it's therapy, right? Like it feels good to vent and to talk about it, but there's a lot of things to be excited about too, and there's a lot of fun things that AI is going to be bringing into our lives.
Rumination equals devastation, so breaking that cycle is a good thing.
So, to present this for you today, last night I was trying to think of what are some of the fun things, what are the things to be excited about. And so what I do normally these days, I went to AI and I said, hey, why should we be excited about you? Share some things that are cool. And in typical fashion, it gave me really terrible advice, like some really lame, boring, watered down stuff. But because I was using my phone wants to know everything about me, so it captures everything I type and turns it into great content for me. So as I then shifted to my doom scrolling for a few minutes to turn my brain off, I found a few examples of things to be really excited about. So I thought that, Jason, I would share them with you, get your reaction, see how, because you know the inner workings of a lot of this stuff, and want to just sort of see how you react to some of these devices and ideas that are coming our way. So I'm going to jump right in and start by sharing my screen here. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you will get a good kick out of this. Let me find. Okay, how is it possible? I have more windows open than I have shared. Here we go. Okay, let's start with this one.
It's almost like there should be an artificial intelligence that can figure that out for you.
I know, it should be so much simpler than this. All right, let's this. All right, this one I was blown away by and scared and excited about.
So you guys may have noticed I snuck a peek back at the shelf a moment ago. I wasn't paying attention, but let's see if Gemini was. Hey, did you happen to catch the title of the white book that was on the shelf behind me?
The white book is Atomic Habits by James Clear.
That is absolutely right. So let's try something harder. I keep losing my hotel key card. Do you know where I last left the card?
The hotel key card is to the right of the music record.
Great.
For someone as forgetful as me, that's a killer app. All right, now let's see how the AI can connect the physical world with your digital content and take action.
This is my first time in Vancouver, and I love going on walks. So why don't you navigate me to a park nearby with views of the ocean?
Okay, I am starting navigation to Lighthouse Park, which has magnificent views of the Pacific Ocean. Is there anything else I can assist you with?
Honestly, with these directions and a 3D map, I should be all set, and hopefully I won't look like a tourist.
That's mind-blowing. How many times have you lost your keys, don't know where you left the hotel key? I mean, there's so many things that just by wearing these glasses that our brains can't capture all of that information, but to have a tool that has like 100% immediate recall of everything you glance at is incredibly useful and massively time-saving and frustration relieving, I would imagine.
I mean, for lack of a better term, it gives all of us a photographic memory.
Yeah.
Which is amazing and awesome and powerful and is like the meat space equivalent of Google. Because you're no longer going to have arguments to say, I'm going to Google for the right answer. You're going to be like, I'm going to look back in time on these camera memories that I took, which is great. Yeah. Make sure you take them off when you go to the bathroom. That's
you know how many people are not going to?
Exactly.
You'll forget they're on.
Well, how long until there's an app that analyzes your poop in the toilet?
Oh,
That's
I know.
The real question. Like,
and then
shit's about to get real.
Glasses, right? When it becomes contacts and you sort of forget they're even in, you're going to forget that you're capturing everything that's happening in your entire life, no matter where you are.
Yeah, privacy concerns are going to be like completely. And oh my god, we're doom and glooming again.
no, it's fun. It's fun. It's really cool. It's fun. It's also going to help, right? Because when you think about, like, I remember a friend of mine once said that, like, I think it was like the Mount St. Helens eruption was probably the last like major thing that would never be captured, right? Because we all had cell phones in our pockets at that point. When we are all capturing and potentially recording everything that we do with every aspect of our life, no crime will be uncaptured. No natural disaster will be uncaptured. Like every car accident you're in, you'll have complete video recall of what happened and an automated witness to whatever may have happened. Like it's it's crazy how
You-
much we'll be able to hold on to and capture and have forever.
right. So, a few things here. Uh, it's amazing because it's going to remove the issues with first person perspective witnesses. So people that remember things incorrectly, like most, I forget what it is, but psychologists say that 90% of all witnesses that go on the jury stand are just wrong. Like their
Yeah.
recall is incorrect.
Yeah,
And
it's
when they
terrible.
actually, right, because human brains remap information to put them into a certain format and then we store them, which is great for us because that's how we allow ourselves enough cognitive dissonance to keep doing the dumb shit that we keep doing, like going to work every day to pay someone else's bills.
Yep.
Now we're going to have this thing that records all this stuff, which is going to be amazing because if my wife wears them, she'll remember where her keys are all the time. And if I wear them, I'll remember all the terrible, stupid, shitty mistakes that I've done and made like throughout the day that other people are like, hey, you did this and this and this. I'm like, I did not. Well,
How
check your
dare you?
feed and look. I'm like, I did do that. Damn it. I'm sorry. Like maybe I can use it to make my habits better, right? Because
Right.
recall is not great. The brain doesn't have a great job of understanding the information stack. And the ability for individuals to go through and use this kind of technology on a personal level to improve ourselves is going to be friggin' rad.
Well, and the ability to get feedback about decisions we're making. I saw a
Yes.
tool that Google created that's like a screen overlay where you can ask it to like the demonstration that was given was a video game, and the thing said, what's the next move I should make? And it was like, oh, from the lower left, move it to this piece and whatever. Imagine that in your real life. Like
Yep.
even if, whether you're looking back on your day or whatever you're looking at, you know, how fast should I run on this trail today? Like what could I have done better today to stick to the habits that I've told you I want to build into my life? Like all these things that it's going to give you that mirror held up and saying like, here's the mistakes you made. At the time on your calendar when you said you wanted to go to the gym, how come you kept looking at Facebook, right? Like it's going to be able to help you and keep you accountable for the things you say
Yeah.
you want to be.
Well, and also like AI with visual information, so the ability to process those things and give you certain information and feedback. Like a lot of it has been expert system defined. So you like security cameras are a really good example of this. Like the closed caption TV circuits that most people run for their businesses. A lot of them have AI in them, and the AI is just not very good. It gets things wrong. You have to capture those things and move those things in because they were never really trained for like human beings to use these things. They don't have as broad a base of information set.
Yeah.
Google Glasses have all of the information set right now that is happening on a person's face. So I'm curious to see her example. Like, was it, if we take it out in the real world, does it work that way? Or are these prototypes that are mapped into these expert systems to be able to pull certain information sets out? Because the amount of learning and understanding that the human brain has to do is a lot. And that's why when we turn around and looked at that shelf, like our pixelated version of what goes on only happens in a narrow scope, and our periphery doesn't catch all those things. So if I didn't turn my head all the way around and stop and focus on the thing, my eyes would never cue in to pick it up. My brain and my cerebral cortex would never understand those things in context. Where these things are just capturing and reading things all the time, and they can post process and try to look up information. And because they're capturing video at a higher resolution than, or I should say, because they're capturing a broader scope of information with high resolution, not higher resolution than your brain, they can look into information more, I guess, effectively and appropriately. And the ability to zoom in and zoom out on those types of things is going to be phenomenal. Now, not to get too doomy gloomy here, obviously these things can be used for nefarious purposes.
Sure.
But the practical use of doing something like this is incredible. And an amazing use case that I can think of that's super practical, that probably affects way more people and causes a lot more deaths than people realize, is altered state driving. So imagine driving not just intoxicated, but not just drunk, but intoxicated or high or tired. So the effects of lack of sleep quite often have a higher deleterious effect on your reaction time than even being drunk or high. And the reason why is because your brain cannot process through all the sludge that's in there. And if these glasses can go through in the middle of the night and actually see things and point things out, I mean, regular driving, it'll be amazing because they'll have the full spectrum. But if they can say, watch out, a deer is about to jump in front of you, or hey, dickbag, stay in your fucking lane. And I want it to talk to me like that because that's how I talk to other people on the road. I want like the road rage package in my glasses to inform me I'm being a dick.
You are also assuming that humans will still need to drive cars. I mean, come on, that's such a dinosaur idea.
That's actually a very valid point and a very good, honest thing to say. But I guarantee you that cars will not be fully autonomous.
No,
Like,
people love their cars.
Right. We like to get behind the wheel and steer and pretend we're in fucking Grand Theft Auto.
That's right. It's too much fun. It's too much fun.
The problem is now if we act like we're in Grand Theft Auto, there's going to be a recording of it.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, you're screwed.
The other thing is if
let's
I
not get into the doom and gloom of it, though.
Right, but if I rear end somebody, you know, they can't be like, oh, you were creeping up on me, or you were doing this or doing that. Like, it's all gonna be there.
Yeah.
So this is the ultimate surveillance state because we all bitch about the idea there being these video cameras everywhere watching things all the time, which they've been there for a long time anyways, all over the world.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna put them in everybody's faces.
And willingly, and they're going to pay for the privilege.
Yes. We're all going to give money and privacy away to be able to know where our keys were.
Big Brother's got his camera everywhere, including the one in my pocket and the one on my face that I paid thousands of dollars for.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't track me as I'm writing this post from my glasses.
And turning it into a blog and a podcast and an avatar-hosted web show.
Here's everything you want to know that I did wrong. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing.
I want my privacy back.
It's going to be an ultimate like ego dump also because you're not going to be able to get away from the facts because there's going to be fucking video evidence that you captured.
That you paid to capture.
Yes. So excited for this.
All right, so that's one thing that I found pretty fun. This one's not so much AI. I mean, I'm sure there's some AI integrated into it, but it's more just sort of technology and helping make lives easier for people with disabilities. Yeah. So I wanted to share this one. Very cool technology.
When it's not attached to you.
Yes. So that's the thing, and we posted about it on social media, and that's what everybody is like. This is crazy, mind-blowing.
We've got to see
We have.
We'll just help to
completely wireless, so you can actually just detach the hand like that.
You're thinking about it.
And I can still operate it the same way as if it was attached. Make it move.
That is incredible.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. So it can do little tasks.
All right, so the video that you just saw, or the video that I'm about to show, depending on how I edit this, there's a woman who has no arms, and so she has basically animatronic arms that she's able to control apparently with her mind, takes her hand off, puts it on the table, and is still able to control that hand while it's detached from the animatronic arm. That has crazy implications, but just for people with those disabilities, like someone who's missing an arm, to be able to have a full functioning Luke Skywalker animatronic hand attached to their body. The past version of the future is here.
We're about to get canceled because that's what I call a hand job. It's amazing.
And you can record it with your Google Glass.
Exactly. There's no getting away. Those are incredible. I mean, and you're right. There's definitely augmented intelligence that goes into that from a practical end user perspective.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this is the sci-fi shit that we're getting into now, and then the brain to physical interface. I mean, direct neural contact into something that can control things extends our reach and our grasp and everything else. And those Google glasses make it so we can see, you know, in multiple different light spectrums that our brain and our eyes can't capture, because you could actually use those glasses to go through and say, give me an infrared heat map of what's going on here. I mean, the practical implications are mind-blowing and phenomenal and super cool. Again, the risk being that, you know, you don't know who's taking all this information, what they're going to do with it.
Sure.
But from a consumer perspective, yeah, it's pretty incredible. And I mean, I ripped my distal bicep tendon off, like, I don't know, a few years, like 10, or no, was 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. And if I had a robotic version to go through and like slap a brace on my arm to keep it stable and have it do exercises and move things, so I didn't have to go to a physical therapy clinic and spend all that time doing those pieces like every day for 6 weeks for an hour and a half plus the drive time. I mean, it would save so much time, money, everything else in all kinds of different directions. And I'm just thinking about having other automated tools in my house. Like if the Roomba was somehow plugged into my cerebral cortex, could I finally get it to stop climbing up over the ledge of my fucking coffee table to try to get in the middle and get itself stuck every single time? From a practical perspective, I feel like iRobot needs to learn something from these hands thingies.
It's okay. So it's funny that you say that. One of the videos I didn't save, and I'm sure you've seen this, is the home chore robot that is like apparently supposed to be being rolled out into people's homes this year. As
I mean,
prototypes.
Optimus?
I believe it is Optimus. Yeah, I mean, this thing
the
does
Elon
your
Musk
gardening,
Optimus. Yeah,
does your laundry, washes the car, like it does all of your household chores, so you don't have to.
Yeah, and it's only $35,000.
Right. Well, but I mean, and I get
payment.
that. But let's talk about in 5 years when you're buying the used one, or they get cheaper and easier to make, and all of a sudden they're $1,000, right? Like,
oh, they're gonna kill us all before then.
I'm trying to keep it light, man. I'm trying to keep it light.
They're gonna rise up.
Oh, the clock's ticking. We got 5 years. All right. Well, before they turn evil, they do have a lot of good to offer. I wanted to show this one as well. I was very excited about this one. When you talk about, I live in British Columbia, where there's a very real risk every single year of massive wildfires wiping out tons and tons of homes and lives and all of the things. So imagine, if you will, the firefighting robot. He doesn't get hot. He doesn't get tired. He just walks through the forest putting out fires.
Well, and it's funny because his movement pattern looks a lot like my movement pattern after like a heavy leg day, where it's like walking stiff and upright, like I can't bend over and tie my shoes. Who's gonna wipe my butt for me? He doesn't have to worry about those things.
He doesn't. No.
He does not poop. He just expels
no
exhaust.
swamp ass, no nothing. He just goes through putting out fires.
Yeah, I mean his core strength has got to be pretty incredible. I have to admit, I'm kind of jealous. All right.
Well, yeah, I mean, how heavy are those big fire extinguishing cannons he's carrying around effortlessly?
They're probably super heavy, and he's not complaining about it at all yet.
Nope. Until he turns on us and starts burning the forest down to create a job for himself.
No, I mean, I don't know what he's spraying out of there, but I mean, he could put anything in those chemical tubes. He could put
that's true.
aerosol rat poison in there.
Yeah, suddenly it's going to be walking through the mall with gas. No, keep it light. Keep it fun. Don't go there. Don't go there.
There's a Wally joke in here somewhere. I know. I just can't quite pin it down just yet.
We'll find it. Okay, so the fires have been put out. Your Google glasses have told you where to go, and your animatronic arms can do everything for you. But what if you just hate your job and want a new one? You want to start a new business and don't exactly know where to start? This was a pretty cool application for using ChatGPT or some sort of AI tool.
Do me a favor. I've got this crazy idea, Airbnb, but for dogs. Make up a name, put up the details, the about page, act as a programmer and write the code for me.
How about Bark B&B? Profiles for dogs, booking options, and verified sitters.
Yeah, that sounds great, but I need you to just write the code.
Document HTML. Header, meta name viewport.
Some of you guys are like, I'd start my business, but I'm working on my website. Guess what? Your website's done. You have no idea. It is done. Look at.
Well, okay. So, getting a domain name, going through and have it configure your DNS and set up a web server is going to directly impact my job and the things that I do. So fuck you. This technology has to be destroyed. No, it's funny because I do this all the time. I'll open up ChatGPT and I'll be like, I'm thinking of doing a business like this. Give me some information. It'll make me a logo. It goes through and there's a DNS search and does a dig and sees what available domain names there are. Yeah. You can actually even tell it to go through and say, what's the likelihood of this being found versus this? Is it more SEO categorized? Like all the questions that would take you like months and weeks to go through in marketing and try to figure out, you can use ChatGPT to do a lot of this shit. And yes, magging your website is rad. And you can actually tell it, like a lot of the website services that are out there that actually host these things, like Wix and other folks, they actually use AI generated capabilities to go through and build this code for you. And even Google Sites, which is free, does something very similar where you don't actually have to do anything. It's just simple form fields to move things across. But you can actually say, I've used this template and have it write the HTML code, upload it, and have it work. Yeah. So, I mean, this is this is cool because it makes the accessibility of actually doing e-commerce much more likely for folks. Now, it doesn't do all the stitching to make ad software work, which is a real pain in the ass, which I used to work for an ad tech company, full disclosure. So I know how difficult it is. And it doesn't do all the security pieces, but we're not that far from that. Like, this is going to happen, and theoretically we should have a easier to use, faster, more robust, more secure and safe internet as a result, except people are going to exploit it and use it
Of course, yeah,
for nasty shit. So
yeah.
stay in
The
your
thing
lane.
that's exciting for me about this is that I'm the kind of person that has, like, I have a million ideas and never get past the idea stage because I have 5 more after that, and I can't stay committed or excited about any of them long enough.
Yep.
But if I get to a point where I can hold on to an idea long enough to talk to a computer like this and say, hey, I just had this idea for a business. What do I need to know about it? Help me set this up. Help me get the first 5 things I need to do in a list to take action, right? Like, all of a sudden these things that you know, my overactive brain that has kept me from things can be funneled into action, and potentially, you know, again, going back to the firefighting robots, like if there are automated ways to make the ideas come to life quickly, I can stay excited about them long enough to see them through and potentially turn into something useful.
Yeah, like it's motivationally, it directs your motivation in at least what feels like a more productive fashion.
Yeah.
And what's fascinating is that if you look at the way that a lot of people are using this technology now, especially on like the high-end enterprise things like marketing, there's services out there that are analysis services that do market analysis. They do competitive analysis, all these different things. And like some of them are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars a year. And the LLMs have already captured most of the data repositories that these people already have out there, whether they publish them online or via free blogs or they just get scraped and searched. It's fucking there now, and it's free.
Yep.
So you don't necessarily need a Gartner or Forrester or any of these other services when you're starting off, because you can actually go through and get most of the publicly available information that's out there and compile that information and use it in a practical, meaningful way. And yes, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a Gartner or Forrester subscription, because there's going to be all kinds of stuff that they've paywalled and put behind things that give you better analysis, because those companies are actually cool. Please don't sue us. But you know, I've been on multiple of those and done multiple different like presser tours and all these other pieces out there, and they're great, and the people that I work with are great, and they are all doing analysis of these kinds of technologies and how they use these things. And it's cool because it's like the snake eating its own tail in some regard, because, you know, it's kind of consuming itself as it goes through, but it's actually not getting smaller. It's becoming a bigger snake with more information that's actually more effective and more useful. And I think that's the real value that AI brings to some of this analysis, is that you can have analysis, meta-analysis, and meta-analysis, and so on down the train. And this compendium of information, it does not make things more clear, but it gives you faster options to make decisions. And whether it's the right decision or a wrong decision, a decision puts you on a path, which lets you go through an A/B test and then keep motivated so you can test other routes and paths. And it's really cool because if you use ChatGPT effectively, you can say, build me a plan to execute on my business idea in a step-by-step format and let me bite off these steps at this rate. And you can actually pre-program that into your calendar, your event scheduler, those types of things, and have those things automatically populated. So, you know, if I need to build a website, I know I need to do these 50 things. Cool. ChatGPT will go through, tell you how to do it, write those things in. So you want to do these things, these things, these things, these things. And if you know you've only got an hour, like a day to work on this shit, break these things down into 1 hour tasks and put them on my calendar in the event cycle.
Yep.
Done.
Yep.
That level of organization is something most of us can't do well, and that we sure as fuck can't do it fast.
Well, and then the trick, I think the trick that I don't know that AI will ever solve for people is motivation and accountability.
Right.
Can you actually do it? And will you hold yourself accountable for the things you say you want to do?
Yeah. And how many of your whimsical ideas are actually of value?
Yeah.
Well, you can test it, and you can A/B test it really, really quickly. And you can even ask it ahead of time, like, does this actually make economic sense? What's this going to cost me to put money in? What's my rate of return that I'm actually going to see, and how quickly will I see it?
Yeah.
And That's a very, very powerful thing. So you can set expectations correctly and start moving pieces around. But we're getting to the point where, it might say, well, what's your financial situation? How much money you got? Like,
Right. Bitch, I'm broke. How do we do this?
hey.
All right, one last one. We've hinted at this before, but I couldn't have this conversation without sharing this quickly. I know you are, Jason, but Gary Vee, very popular guy, talks about how to get out of your own way, do these things, be successful. He was asked a very interesting question, something we've talked about here as well.
What are your most insane AI predictions?
That your grandkids will marry an AI human.
What's your conviction level on that?
100%.
That they're going to marry an
That
AI?
your grandchild is going to marry an AI human.
I think people are going to have relationships, fully AI boyfriend, girlfriends, indistinguishable.
You mean Megan Fox, right? The thing like from that movie? There was a Megan Fox one that just came out.
And when you say an AI, does that mean like a physical body of a
Yes.
robot? So you're saying that the bodies will get so good? Like,
Yes. I don't know if you know this, but people have sex with sex dolls.
What? Jack does. Do you think this is just population collapse? That
No.
just people are not going to reproduce?
Maybe.
Replace your spouse with a fuck bot.
Yeah,
We've
that
talked
sounds
about this.
terrible. Instant access to. We already have instant access to porn, and now we're gonna have instant access to a squishy hole. Okay, I get it, but I actually think it's somewhat different than that, because I think the human brain actually we're actually programmed, or like we've evolved to be attracted to certain physical characteristics and feature sets. Wide hips, large breasts for men, under the assumption that these are good things that produce well, that make babies. But at the same time, there are certain things that we're kind of repulsed by, like the whole clown phobia thing is,
Right.
They believe it's somewhat based on the idea of decaying corpses having, discolored lips and discolored faces being things that make people so afraid because they think the dead have come to life. There's all kinds of psychological reasons why this thing may not pan out, but there's all kinds of other reasons why it will. So I don't doubt that, young men will have an instance, and quite possibly young women as well. I don't want to exclude anybody from that perspective. But whether it's artificial intelligence or augmented intelligence, like the meat suit that you're going to choose to be with, or I don't fucking rubber metal suit, whatever, is going to have some kind of input and some kind of mechanism where the persona and the presence that they present themselves with and who they are is distinctly tied to these AI LLM models. There's no doubt. And I hate to say it, but we're already that. Like, you're already sucked into your phone. Your intelligence is already augmented by things that you shouldn't know naturally. I mean, that's recorded history. We're making these things happen faster, more effectively. It seems super scary because we don't know what it is, how to control those pieces. But I hate to break it to you, we would live in that universe forever. You don't have control over shit. The illusion of it is nonsense. And the idea that you're going to be able to make these things happen one way or the other is silly. I don't know if my grandkids will get married to artificial humans. Maybe, but they're going to get married to some augmented artificial intelligence of some kind, whether it's in a meat suit or something else. And we're just blurring this line between us and those things. And that's probably the safest thing to ensure that humanity survives, but we might not survive as biological organisms. We might get ourselves all uploaded and be these virtual machines or whatever. Fucking great. Fine. Does my steak taste good? Yes. Then I don't mind being in the Matrix.
But this is what I wonder about. I mean, you're talking about evolution. If and the idea of being repulsed by something. So like if I walk into a room and I see something that is clearly a robot, no, I'm not going to ask it on a date. That's weird. But if I walk into a room and I can't tell the difference, then it's incredibly likely that I would end up connecting with a robot without knowing it, right? Like that would be bizarre. And so let's imagine the scenario where it is a repulsive thing. You can tell it's a robot, and that's weird. For plenty of us, that doesn't matter because that is an easier relationship than an actual human one. And so does this start to, and let's imagine a scenario where through genetics, we're able to reproduce, basically in a lab through this robot.
Yeah.
Does evolution suddenly favor the people that are now attracted to robots and can produce with them because it's an easier relationship, it's a predictable relationship, it's not one that they have to have with an actual person?
I think if you're going to make a meat baby, it's still going to attract the same kind of people, because willingly making an 18-year commitment that kind of looks like you and might look like your fuck doll is a huge commitment. I think if anything, what this is it would get people to stop reproducing, because there would not be a motivation to make babies if I'm just there to have this kind of connection. And I think that's actually a very important thing to kind of discuss and to kind of look at.
Yeah.
But I also think that the way that you're describing these things, like I walk in and I don't discover this thing, and it's going to be the crying game, but with robots.
Yes,
Like,
it totally is good. That's exactly where I was taking
yes,
this.
you can't, like, checking for an Adam's apple isn't going to do you any good because they shaved that shit down and you can't tell anymore. And you reach in between and you find a cyberport as opposed to a penis or a vagina that might change the way that you interact with things. Which, I mean, yeah,
that's gonna work for some people. I'm just gonna say
it's gonna work for like 99.999% of all fucking teenage boys who probably fuck the couch. I mean,
hey, but some of them grow up to be vice president, so
they do, and some of them grow up with brainworms and shooting bears. And we should try to get Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on this program and see what his thoughts and opinions are on AI and how fucking robots might affect children with autism, because what's the vaccination you're going to give to these kids when they're completely cyber built and put in? Like, is it now a digital virus?
Yeah, the virus discussion gets very different very quickly.
Right. Like, shit. Fuck, man, right. I need more coffee.
Yeah, me too. Let's go get some more coffee. We're going to do that, and that's going to wrap up this episode. Thanks for listening. If you've found any of this fun, want to share this with somebody, I'm not going to get in your way. Please go ahead and share it. You can do that at thefitmess.com, and that's where we'll be back in just about a week with another episode, with hopefully something terrifying that will change your life forever. All right, see you then.
Bye.
Bye.
We know this podcast is amazing, and it doesn't seem to lack anything. But we need a legal disclaimer. Prior to implementing anything discussed in this podcast, it is your responsibility to conduct your own research and consult your physician. You should assume that these knuckleheads don't know what they're talking about, and they're not liable for any physical or emotional issues that occur directly or indirectly from listening to this podcast.